Previously, Princess Amba sought justice, but destiny had chosen another path. She left Hastinapura, vowing that one day she would become the reason for Bhishma's downfall. Meanwhile, Princesses Ambika and Ambalika arrived safely in Hastinapura. A new chapter in the history of the Kuru dynasty was about to begin. Soon, the royal wedding was celebrated with great joy. King Vichitravirya married Princess Ambika and Princess Ambalika. The streets of Hastinapura were decorated with flowers. Priests chanted sacred Vedic mantras. The people rejoiced, believing the future of the Kuru dynasty was now secure. Bhishma watched the ceremony in silence. His vow had prevented him from becoming king. Yet he never regretted his sacrifice. His only wish was to see the Kuru dynasty flourish. For many years, peace returned to Hastinapura, but fate had written another tragedy. King Vichitravirya suddenly fell gravely ill. The greatest physicians were summoned. Sacred rituals were performed. Prayers echoed throughout the kingdom. Yet nothing could stop destiny. The young king grew weaker with each passing day. One quiet night, the palace bells rang. King Vichitravirya had passed away. He left this world without an heir. A deep silence covered Hastinapura. The future of the Kuru dynasty now stood in great danger. Queen Satyavati was overcome with grief. Not only had she lost her son, but the royal bloodline itself was now at risk. Without a rightful heir, the mighty kingdom of Hastinapura could fall into chaos. She looked toward Bhishma, the greatest protector of the Kuru dynasty. A difficult decision had to be made. The royal court gathered once again. Queen Satyavati looked toward Bhishma. Her voice was filled with sorrow. "My son, the Kuru dynasty has no heir. Only you can save this kingdom. For the sake of Hastinapura, please become king." The entire court waited for Bhishma's answer. Bhishma lowered his head. His voice remained calm. "Mother, I have sworn before the heavens to never sit upon the throne and never marry. My promise cannot be broken, even if it means sacrificing everything." Queen Satyavati closed her eyes. She knew Bhishma would never break his vow. For several moments, the court remained silent. Then, Queen Satyavati spoke of a secret she had hidden for many years. "Before I married King Shantanu, I gave birth to a son." The ministers looked at one another in surprise. Even Bhishma listened carefully. She continued, "My son was born through the blessings of the great sage Parashara. He grew into one of the greatest sages the world has ever known. He is Sage Vyasa, the master of wisdom, the knower of the Vedas. Only he could now protect the future of the Kuru dynasty without delay." Queen Satyavati closed her eyes. She remembered her son with deep devotion. Far away, in the quiet Himalayas, Sage Vyasa sensed his mother's call. He slowly opened his eyes. He knew the time had come. Within moments, a brilliant light appeared inside the royal palace. The light slowly faded. Standing before the court was the great Sage Vyasa. His long matted hair, his glowing eyes, and his peaceful presence filled the palace with divine energy. Everyone bowed with respect. A new chapter in the history of the Mahabharata had begun. Queen Satyavati welcomed Sage Vyasa with deep respect. She explained the sorrow that had fallen upon Hastinapura. "My son, Vichitravirya, has left this world without an heir. The Kuru dynasty stands on the edge of extinction. You alone can preserve our royal lineage." Vyasa listened silently. He understood the responsibility before him. Sage Vyasa spoke calmly. "Mother, I shall help the Kuru dynasty, but those who come before me must prepare themselves with purity and with courage. Their state of mind will influence the destiny of the children they bear." The palace fell silent. Everyone sensed the importance of his words. That night, Queen Satyavati visited Queen Ambika. She gently explained the ancient custom that would protect the future of the kingdom. Though nervous, Ambika accepted her duty. She prayed to the gods and prepared herself. When Sage Vyasa entered the chamber, his appearance was that of a great ascetic. His long matted hair, his flowing beard, and his intense spiritual presence filled the room. Ambika became frightened. She closed her eyes tightly, unable to look at him. The next morning, Sage Vyasa came before Queen Satyavati. He said, because Ambika closed her eyes in fear, "The son born to her will be powerful, but he will be blind from birth." Queen Satyavati was saddened, yet she accepted destiny. In time, a son was born to Queen Ambika. His name was Dhritarashtra. Though he was born without sight, he possessed extraordinary strength. His birth brought hope, but the future of Hastinapura remained uncertain. Another heir was still needed. Although Prince Dhritarashtra had been born, Queen Satyavati remained concerned. A blind prince could not easily lead the mighty kingdom of Hastinapura. She approached Sage Vyasa once again. "My son, the Kuru dynasty still needs another worthy heir." Vyasa understood her concern. He agreed to help once more. That evening, Queen Ambalika was prepared to meet Sage Vyasa. She entered the chamber with respect. But as Vyasa appeared before her, his powerful spiritual presence overwhelmed her. Her face turned pale with fear, yet she remained standing, unable to hide her emotions. The following morning, Sage Vyasa spoke to Queen Satyavati. Because Ambalika became pale with fear, the son born to her will possess great wisdom and courage, but his body will be weak and pale. Queen Satyavati accepted the prophecy. The destiny of the Kuru dynasty continued to unfold. In time, a second prince was born. He was named Pandu. Though his complexion was pale, he grew into a fearless warrior. The kingdom celebrated his birth. For the first time since King Vichitravirya's death, hope returned to Hastinapura. Yet Queen Satyavati desired one more healthy heir. She requested Queen Ambika to meet Sage Vyasa again. But Ambika, still fearful from her previous experience, could not bring herself to go. Instead, she sent her faithful maid in her place. The humble woman entered the chamber, with respect and without fear. The maid greeted Sage Vyasa with kindness and respect. She remained calm throughout their meeting. The great sage was pleased. Months later, a child was born. He was named Vidura. Though he was not born to a queen, he became one of the wisest and most righteous men in the history of Hastinapura. Years passed. The three young princes grew under the watchful eyes of Bhishma. Prince Dhritarashtra, Prince Pandu, and Prince Vidura were raised with discipline, wisdom, and honor. Bhishma personally ensured that each child received the finest education in the kingdom. The future of Hastinapura rested upon their shoulders. Prince Dhritarashtra, though born without sight, possessed extraordinary strength. It was said, his grip could crush iron. His hearing was unmatched. He could recognize people simply by the sound of their footsteps. The people admired his incredible power. Prince Pandu was gifted with remarkable speed and courage. He mastered the bow and arrow at a young age. Every target he aimed for was struck with perfect precision. The royal teachers believed he would become one of the greatest warriors in Bharat. Prince Vidura was different from his brothers. He cared little for weapons. Instead, he devoted himself to learning the Vedas, justice, politics, and Dharma. Even the oldest ministers were amazed by his wisdom. As the years passed, the three princes became respected throughout the kingdom. The people admired Dhritarashtra's strength. They praised Pandu's bravery. They trusted Vidura's wisdom. Yet, one important question remained unanswered. Who would become the next king of Hastinapura? The royal council gathered. Bhishma, Queen Satyavati, and the kingdom's greatest ministers met to decide the future. Dhritarashtra was the eldest, but he had been born blind. Pandu was younger, yet he possessed every quality of a king. The decision would change the destiny of the Kuru dynasty forever. The day of judgment had arrived. The royal court of Hastinapura was filled with ministers, sages, warriors, and nobles. Bhishma rose from his seat. His voice echoed through the grand hall. The future of the Kuru dynasty must be protected. We must choose a king who can lead the kingdom in both peace and war. Every eye turned toward the three princes. The eldest prince, Dhritarashtra, was wise, powerful, and respected. But the royal advisors expressed their concern. A king must personally lead his armies. He must see the battlefield and protect his people. Though the decision was painful, the council concluded that Dhritarashtra's blindness would make ruling the kingdom difficult. Prince Dhritarashtra remained silent. Deep inside, his heart was filled with disappointment. He was the eldest son. By birth, the throne belonged to him. Yet destiny had chosen another path. Still, he accepted the decision with dignity. Then Bhishma stepped forward. He addressed the entire court. Prince Pandu possesses courage, discipline, and the qualities of a great ruler. For the safety of Hastinapura, I declare Pandu the next king of the Kuru dynasty. The court erupted in applause. A magnificent coronation ceremony was held. Sacred rivers' waters were brought from across Bharat. Great sages chanted Vedic hymns. The royal crown was placed upon Pandu's head. The people cheered with joy. A new king had risen. Hope returned once again to Hastinapura. As King Pandu accepted the throne, Prince Vidura stepped forward. My king, rule with justice, protect the weak, and always place Dharma above power. Pandu smiled with gratitude. He knew the wisdom of Vidura would guide the kingdom for years to come. Under King Pandu's rule, Hastinapura entered a golden age. He led his armies across the kingdoms of Bharat. One after another, powerful rulers accepted the supremacy of the Kuru Empire. Peace, prosperity, and honor spread throughout the land. The people praised Pandu as one of the greatest kings of his time, while Pandu strengthened the kingdom. Bhishma turned his attention to the future of the royal family. He knew the Kuru dynasty needed worthy queens. After careful consideration, he began searching across the kingdoms of Bharat for noble princesses who would shape the future of Hastinapura. In the kingdom of Gandhara lived Princess Gandhari. She was known for her wisdom, kindness, and unwavering devotion to Dharma. When Bhishma proposed her marriage to Prince Dhritarashtra, her family accepted with honor. But Gandhari made a decision that astonished the world. When Gandhari learned that her future husband had been blind since birth, she tied a cloth over her own eyes. She chose to share her husband's darkness. For the rest of her life, her sacrifice became a symbol of loyalty and devotion. At the same time, Bhishma arranged another royal marriage. King Pandu married Princess Kunti, a noble woman blessed with courage, wisdom, and unwavering faith. Soon after, Pandu also married Princess Madri of Madra. The future of the Kuru dynasty seemed brighter than ever. The Kuru dynasty had found new hope. King Pandu ruled with strength. Dhritarashtra stood beside him with loyalty. Vidura guided the kingdom with wisdom. Yet, destiny had already begun weaving another story, a story of a divine blessing, a powerful curse, and the birth of heroes who would change history forever. In the next episode, you will witness the mysterious boon of Kunti, the curse that changed King Pandu's life, and the beginning of the legendary Pandavas. To be continued.